Hello everyone, welcome to Fight Time. Let's flip this around. Our rookies are either breaking bones or suffering from concussions. What a feast. Out of humanitarianism, Dalton sent them to the hospital and casually asked the doctor to take a look at his fashionable bruises from before. Though these little punks are nothing to write home about, Dalton ended up beefing with Brandt, and the next day, the whole town knew his heroic name. Dalton swung by the bookstore to chat with Charlie just in time to see Brandt's goons causing a ruckus at the supermarket next door. Charlie couldn't stand it and yelled for them to scram. As the big guy lumbered over, Dalton had to step in and raised his hands in surrender. Girls like Charlie, kind-hearted and brave enough to stand out, aren't common around here. On the yacht, the subordinate reported to Brandt that half the others were in hospital recovering. The plan to harass the restaurant had to be postponed. Brandt, the useless rich kid, has been trying to create some happy memories for Daddy ever since his father went to jail. Dalton's guidance, although fights kept breaking out in the restaurant, he hardly had to get his hands dirty to put a stop. A few guys could basically handle the punks, and Dalton wasn't much of a talker on average. Other than chatting with Charlie at the bookstore, he mostly enjoyed the quiet of solitude. Little did he know, that night had run into the newly discharged Will. "Oh, what's going on? Is your tiny heart pounding away like a drumbeat? It's really amusing that you're still scared of this girl. Come on, let's go." Fortunately, Dalton didn't sustain too many injuries that make him look good. Subtitles, however, when he returned to his small boat, Will was already there waiting with a gun in hand, only to be unexpectedly pushed overboard by Dalton in just a couple of moves. After all, Dalton really didn't want to become a murderer. He forgot the crocodiles in the water and it was too late to save him. And that's how Will became lunch. The next day when the police came to fish for the body, he had been cleaned out long ago. This escalated the feud between Dalton and Brandt, but Dalton still didn't care. Subtitles. When he emerged from Charlie's bookstore, Brandt's henchman once again approached him, saying, Hey, let's get driving. Boss wants to have a word with you," and when they flashed a gun, they thought they could intimidate Dalton, but he was completely unfazed. This guy was really pushing it, looked like it was time to teach him a lesson, or he might really think the trigger was a toy. Why not talk to your shoulder? It's boring, got it? Holding your middle finger down stops you from grabbing the gun. You can lift it, but there's no way you're going to pull the trigger, so don't make me laugh too hard. Here's a middle finger for you, buddy. Here's a big fat nothing for you, you jerk. Just come and see how much I'm suffering. You don't want to be a discus thrower. I can shoot, and you aren't into shooting either, right? But I do like to leave the gun in the car in case the boss feels like chatting with me. I work on this road every day, waiting to be found by these thuglets. It's driving me nuts. He went to ask Frankie what these guys were staring at him for. Frankie's response was, he admitted he had no clue, and seeing he couldn't wring any wisdom from him, Dalton gave up. He thought to himself, this won't be. The Brandt family was the big player behind Glass Island. They had the development project, but they'd been struggling to get their hands on the restaurant property, hence the troublemaking. At that moment, Daddy called out of the blue, but Brandt didn't dare to pick it up, tossing his phone right into the ocean. Subsequently, a naked guy leaped out of the window. He was caught in the act, yet remained carefree and stylish, bidding a beautiful woman goodbye before walking contentedly into the night market. After a few steps, he spotted a large shirt that seemed to fit him perfectly. This hunk's name was Knox. He was Brandt's dad's hired muscle, and it didn't take a genius to guess that his mission was to handle Dalton. At that time, Dalton dated a doctor, speeding to a lovely shore deep in the sea. Subtitles. They happily indulged in a few bottles of wine, and Ellie expressed her love to Dalton. However, this wonderful moment unfortunately did not last for long. After Ellie dropped Dalton off, the police caught up with her, and the sheriff gave Dalton a stern talking to, asking what he thought he could do. Turns out the sheriff was Ellie's dad, and he used to work for the Brandt family. On the surface, they appeared to be in the tourism business. But in reality, the money-making gig was drugs, which was pretty much what Dalton suspected. This made Dalton start to consider whether he should wade into the murky water or not. That night, Brant came to the restaurant showing a video of Dalton's killing at the arena to roast him. Little did he expect that Dalton said nothing at all, and once Brant left, Knox strutted in with his gang to cause some chaos. Arrogant looks and immense strength appended the restaurant, yet Dalton just sat like a statue. Hearing his name being called, Dalton had no choice but to step up to Knox. Knox was just a madman. He enjoyed the process of fighting, and Dalton wasn't afraid of Knox, he was afraid of himself. He had killed an opponent in the octagon due to losing his cool, his body unable to stop until the opponent ran out of breath. He didn't want any more ties with the Brant family for fear of killing again, so he tried hard to keep himself in check against Knox. After being tossed out, Dalton regrouped, face showing intent to kill, but held back. Back on his boat, Dalton packed up to leave, only to have Frankie rush over, pleading for him to stay. Frankie admitted hiding the truth, explaining why Brant targeted him, thinking Dalton feared their power. Subtitles: if you enjoy our story, please do remember to like and subscribe, and we'll bring you even more thrilling stories.